Hello everyone, welcome to another holiday edition of Vicar David's 60-second slot. Coming today from the Grotte de Villars in the Dordogne. Fantastic cave system right underneath where we speak. And these caves started to be formed over 250,000 years ago by water rushing through, by trees being compressed on top and by water seeping down. And by about 40,000 years ago, they looked a little similar to how they do today. 20,000 years ago, deposit closed up the entrance to the cave and they were forgotten about. And they were rediscovered in 1953 when cavers from the Dordogne, young cavers, noticed steam coming out from behind a rock, in cold weather, showing them that there must be a cavity, a void behind the rock blocking the entrance. Remove the entrance, and what did they see? 1953, marvellous things. Now I'm going to hand over to my daughter Maisie, who can explain what they saw in far better words than I could. Over to you, Maisie.
Thanks, Dad. So you can see here we've got the stalactites at the top and the stalagmites at the bottom, and they're formed from dissolved minerals in the groundwater, and they crystallize into these formations, and they're always, as you can see, opposite from each other, because as the water drips off from the stalactites, it drips onto the stalagmites, and eventually you can actually form pillars in the caves.
Thank you, Maisie, that's brilliant. Those fantastic features have been lit up, and we see them in incredible details, thousands and thousands and thousands of them. But in 1956, something to my mind even more wonderful was discovered, and that along with cave systems throughout the Dordogne, humans had entered the caves about 20,000 years ago, 17 to 18,000 BC, early in what we call the Paleolithic, Cro-Magnon humans, and drew on the walls depictions of the world. And you can see one of them here. You can see a bison. And this is one of the reasons we came to these caves, is because they're one of the few left that you can actually go in and see the actual paintings rather than they've been closed off and you can just see recreations of them. And there's these pictures of bisons, but even more marvellous, there's actually a depiction of a human. Can you see him? He's kind of like this shape as in front of the bison, as if he's going stop, and you can see a kind of helmet on top. And this is a very rare example of humans in cave art, and even more rare to have a human and an animal as well. What was the motivation for this? People don't really know. There's some theories. One is that it was a kind of sympathetic magic to either help them hunt or protect themselves from the animals. Some people think it was part of a fertility rite. Some people think that it was like the original Aboriginals in Australia. They used the art as a form of instruction to help the younger people protect themselves and learn necessary information. Whatever it was the most profound, spiritual, and I would say religious experience. If these people were, whatever they believed about themselves, about how they understood them, about themselves and their world, coming out of these caves isn't like coming out of a kind of magician's cave or a kind of witch's lair or a kind of seance. It's actually like coming out of a great cathedral. It's actually like coming out of a simple church where people for thousands, hundreds and years before us have had this same religious sense. It is, in the words of T.S. Eliot in his poem Little Gidding, a place where prayer has been valid, where people who are as intelligent as we are, although just lack the cultural tools that we have, but were just as religious, just as spiritual, and just as aware of themselves and their place in the world. This marvellous place where 20,000 years ago prayer has been valid. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.